Hello. Yes, I'm apparently muted. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Reassembling. Yes. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to be servicing some Floppy drives. I said that there's two different types here. You got your auto inject and your manual inject. These are the ones that suck in the disks usually on the older Macs, and these are the later ones that you have to push in the disk. Thus manual. Ta-da! I was saying obviously that the manual inject drives are really simple to service. Generally, these really don't need much at all. Maybe just to clean the heads and blow out some dust and stuff. I mean, if it's really bad, then you need to like clean up the grease on the gear. But there's really not generally much to do for these. Don't smash the dislike button, Ricky. Oh boy! So I'm just gonna blow this sucker out off camera so I don't get crap everywhere, but actually this one's really looking good already. I'm going to gently clean the head. Some isopropyl alcohol. Make sure I grab the right jar. I've got one over there that says vinegar. It looks exactly the same. When you clean these, of course, you want to push up this head too high. Gently get in there. Clean the upper and bottom part of the heads. Nice and gentle. Easy peasy, monkey measy. Honestly, this drive's good to go, I gotta say. Yeah, I'll clean off the door a little bit so it's not dirty, but it's already clean looking. Ta-da! Done. That was an easy one. Okay. Fun part's getting the clip back on right. Perfect. One down. I think my camera just died. No. Yeah, this is what's happening. New camera setup. Oh, I hate you, Camo. Alright, I guess it's back. That'll be interesting to see how bad that happens. Anyway, testing new setup, like I said. One down. I know, Reassembling, it's pretty terrible. I only have to impress you guys, though, so... Not a very high bar, right? I should probably thank all the people who actually joined. I appreciate it. We've got, of course, Reassembling, 1-Bit Fever Dreams. Thank you for coming. And, yeah, those two guys. Nice to see you. Pop off this cover here. Why not? I wonder how often this camo thing is going to be disconnecting. I actually bought the full camo thing. This one's clean, too. Totally clean. See how easy these are to service? This is the easy one, so yeah, I'll remind you. A little bit of dirt. But these drives came in some units, some Quadra and Centra 610 units I got a while back that I've been working on cleaning up, fixing. So, yeah, there we go. A little bit of a cleaning the lens there. Hey, Steve. Snap. Perfect. 2 down. Okay. Yep, there goes the camera again. Bloody hell. All right. I hate camo. Well, we'll see what this thing does. You're just going to disconnect? Yep. Disconnect and reconnect, I guess. Wow, that is terrible. I wonder why it's doing that. My apologies. Well, just have to deal with it, I guess, for now. It's just going to be consistently disconnecting like that. All right, so this is one of the special drives. It has this wonderful little sleeve thing that captures all the dust and crap. Handy dandy. So this is the auto inject drives. These you got generally 4 screws around the outside. Gotta take off. Sometimes these are like air wrenched in for some reason. They like them nice and tight. I haven't replaced any eject gears. Well, the eject gears on the manual inject, they don't have eject gears, but this one I have not opened yet. But yes, generally, like you were saying, I have to replace eject gears on these. Let's slide out. There you go. Cool. Okay, I gotta say, this is actually incredibly clean too. Lucky. Cool. That's very lucky. So generally what happens is you get like a whole ton of like dust bunnies collected in here, depending on how dirty it was, right? I think this is supposed to actually deter dust from getting in there, but really all it does is trap it. Yeah, this is, oh God. Ugh. Yeah, there's some gunky gunk inside there. Can you see that? That's gonna need to be cleaned out. I don't even know what that is. It's like a dead animal. Gross. All right. Okay, so once you get the top off, first thing you want to do, if I can zoom in a little bit. Of course, camo is going to be, who knows how good this is going to be. Bear with me. So first thing you want to do, this little guy here clips the upper read head onto the whole mechanism. So when the drive drops, when you put a disk in, it drops the read head. Let me show you. You put your disk in like this. This is a very good disk, of course. As it inserts, the whole mechanism drops. It drops the head. Wait. Anyway, I'm going to take this off first. Gently lift up the head. Pull this sucker back with a little clip. And then gently put the head down. The reason why you want to do that right off the bat is because you're going to be mucking with this mechanism here. You don't want the head to slam onto itself. Generally not a good idea. Now I've dropped the screw. Okay. Next, let's see. There's two little springs here. Let's see if I can improve this. Focus a little bit. That's a little better. I wasn't an apple yet. Ratchet Techie, it's not my fault. There's a little spring here. Gotta unhook. Get a good hold on it. There you go. That is super blurry. Maybe I'll just do this. See if that does any better. Yeah, so like I said, I'm trying a different setup. I'm using CamoCam with an iPhone. And I'm actually streaming everything at 1080p with 3 different cameras. And my poor iMac over here is just freaking out right now. So, curious how well it's going to actually survive. Okay, so once you take off those 2 springs, the whole top part here kind of wiggles out. What you have to do is kind of have to move the eject thing here, and then this side generally will lift right up. You just jiggle, 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 and then this side lifts, and then this side comes out like that. And put this to the side. You're going to need to go through and clean off all the gunk on this. Although, honestly, this isn't too bad. Probably ends up making this drive worse. This drive actually looks really good, except for that nasty, horrible junk in there. Okay, next part. Let's do the gear first, or the motor. So what you have to do, this is the whole motor. There's 2 screws for this, right here. 2019, everything mysteriously got better at Apple. Can't be explained. God. 2 screws, and then this little guy just folds back, and you got a whole mass of wires down here. You have to unhook this connector gently, lift up gently. There's your eject motor. The gears are in here. We'll crack that open in a bit. Next part, this little slidey guy here. There's these 4 little like grommet things on here you gotta remove. And of course, like everyone says, they go flying across the room if you just kind of whip them off. So what you can do, I like using like pliers like these. So you get in here at an angle, underneath here, and just kind of hold it and lift it. And as I take them off, I usually like to clean them off because they're usually covered with gunk. There's a little bit of lubrication you want to put underneath there. So Steve, I guess you hadn't done many floppy drive servicing, I think someone was saying, when you were working on your 512? I know Retchecky's never done any. He doesn't own Macs old enough. Okay. Then this just lifts right out. And if you've never done this before, you know, obviously take photos as you go. Like I said, there's a really good guide that Bruce has. I put in the description. But what you can do gives you an idea where you want to apply lubricant later on if you're cleaning all the lubricant off, which you really should be if you're opening up this far. You can kind of see in here where they put lubricant before, so it gives you an idea like where it's going to be, where you're going to be putting it like in the future too, right? Okay, so that's that. Next part, depending on what model you have, the drive, the actual, whatever this is, the gear for the head, this whole motor can come out too, but this is one that's actually mounted right in, so you can't really remove it. But I'm going to remove the reed head. So I can get in there really good. So what you want to do for that is pull out these two things carefully. Little ribbon cables. And then there's two screws down in here. Right along the rail. One there and there. Both of these. Ugh. Great. Yeah, Steve, you've just been like, well, that floppy doesn't work. I'll just go to another floppy because I've got piles of them over here. It's like Adam finding the box of floppy drives. Okay. Then once you do that, to the screws, this whole mechanism kind of pulls outwards and upwards like this, so kind of lift, because there's a little like little guide that goes over top of the screw to actually make it move. So this one's really gummy. I don't think I've ever seen one this dirty, so I'm trying to be really gentle here. So you just lift it out like that. You can see here all the gunk in there. You're gonna have to clean that out. Obviously you don't want to muck with these heads too much. And that. So basically now it's stripped down. So now it's the whole cleaning time. So what I like to do, go along with some alcohol first. Actually, I want to use my alcohol. 2 jars of alcohol. One bit fever dreams done. 2 disk drives, internal plus and external. I'm procrastinating doing the other plus, the SC Color Classics. Yeah, I actually like doing the floppy drives. To be honest, I've actually had kind of really good luck. Knock on wood. I've only had a couple after I've serviced them, they didn't work, right? And you know, generally they weren't working in the first place. But lately I've just been servicing them, then testing them afterwards. So I've had really good luck though with like not causing problems at least, which is good. Ideally you don't want to cause problems. Anyway, if I go along with a Q-tip, get all the main hunks of grease, because so depending on the drive and where it was stored, etc., this grease can just be like glue. And so you just kind of want to get it off there to start with. Get the big chunky bits. And then later on I'll generally go back with a cleaner Q-tip or some paper towel with isopropyl alcohol to get off the remaining bits. Ugh. Tastes minty. Yeah, unfortunately, you end up going through like about 1,000 Q-tips, which is kind of sad, but if you're smart about it, you don't have to do too many. Hey, Jeremy. Thanks for joining. This is going to be exciting. Everyone likes floppy drives. I love how these things work. The auto inject. I remember the first time I took one of these apart, it was incredibly intimidating. It's like, oh my god, what have I done? But it's really quite logical, and getting them really clean is nice. I used to actually take the main parts here and just literally wash them in the sink with hot water and stuff, but kind of stopped doing that because I don't know, it takes like 3 times longer and it's not entirely necessary. Just get the worst of the dirt along here. There'll be sometimes some grease up on these upper bits too. That's pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna get the screw parts. First part for the screw I'm gonna use, and some alcohol, just kind of loosen up the big parts here. Greasy. Yeah. Then, generally what you have to do to really get it clean, it's better you can pull this thing out, but this one doesn't come out. Use a toothbrush to get in there, just kind of get into the gears. Delicious. See what I'm getting up? Yeah. Your son tore apart your floppy drive, man, Jeremy? Uh-oh. Alright, so let's have a look there. It looks pretty good. Pretty clean. Alright. So that's pretty good. Sometimes I'll go along too and just get the gunk out of the front here. Actually, this drive, like I said, is actually pretty clean for ones I usually get. It's not too bad. Actually, I wonder if somebody's already serviced this now. I kind of wonder. So I'm noticing the, usually there's some like written stuff here that comes off as soon as you touch it with ISO. And I didn't do that, and it was already gone. So I don't know if it just kind of wore away over time or something, but I don't know. Who knows? This came out of a 2CX. Oh no, actually this one, what did this one come out of? What did this one come out of? Don't know. Don't remember. It's probably of an LC. It's generally what they come out of for me. Okay, so this goes to the side for now. Let's work on this. Get it. Oh, there's like a big mess. Same thing on this. We're going to be cleaning off all the gunky bits. One of the reasons why I want to get these things cleaned up. Actually, I know what this drive is from the Sentra 610. That's right. So yeah, one of the reasons why I want to get these cleaned up, these at least here, about ready to put those systems back together. Been working on those things for like 2 months on and off, basically on Dave's stream. Can we see your Apple badge? I don't have my Apple badge anymore. I had to, give it back when I left. It's one of the things they make you give back. I would like to have it though. I made an Apple badge for my son years ago. It's really funny. He used to come and visit me at work when he was little, and so I made him his own badge. I imagine later on, years later, I would have gotten in trouble for doing that. All right, that's the worst of the worst. This nasty thing. Usually the 7200s use the auto or the manual inject drives. So like one of these with the door on it, right? And that's the way you can tell it's gonna be that way is because of the front case has that little shape in it. Where can I show you? Where's that cover I had here? Yeah, I don't have one handy actually, but it has a shape in the front. It looks like an open mouth, like versus just a slit. And those are the ones that have the manual inject. You can actually switch them around, but I think the manual inject inside that case, the little hole there, might be a little weird pushing it in and stuff. It'd probably work, but honestly, these are much easier. The manual inject ones are much easier to find, in source and stuff, and they're honestly generally more reliable at this point. They're not as fun or cool, obviously, right? But yeah, you can get one though easier. Can we see? Yeah, okay, Rich, Dougie. Boom, boom. Another Q-tip down. So around this part here is where they usually put a shit ton of grease. This one's actually not too bad. Pretty good. Okay. And then sometimes, actually I forgot, sometimes there's grease on these little dealy bobs here. Little bits that stick out. Yep, right there. Grease, grease, grease. Okay, clean as a whistle. Good. Good enough. All right, now let's do this abomination. So what you can do for this, what I do is I take a Q-tip, because what you have to do is get this gunk out of here, which I just managed to put my finger into. Take a Q-tip and I just kind of squeeze it, make a flat little bit here, like a flat little thingy-bob-boop. Get some alcohol in here, and then you can fit it between this top guide thing and the bottom flat thing. Ugh. Gross. Just to get it wet and just kind of get the worst of it. But then ultimately what you have to end up doing, getting in there with tweezers and scraping out the goo. Yay. What was the worst Apple product you ever had to hand in verifying? The worst product? Gosh, I don't know, man. We all really loved the keyboards on the 2015 MacBook Air, or MacBooks, when they first came out, because that was the first crummy keyboard. But I don't know, man. There was some different products that we had a really hard time just getting done. To be honest with you, personally for me, there was a bug. When the Apple Cinema display, the 30-inch Cinema display, were being developed, they required the NVIDIA card, the NV40 in the G5, and it was a bug. Basically, the bug was the computer would either hang on boot sometimes, it crashed, kernel panic, or on wake from sleep. And, and so this would happen as a stability test, right? So we'd run stability cycles and stuff looking for, making sure that it reboot and sleep wake, okay. Anyway, there was a bug. And this bug, long story short, went on and on and on for over a month. And delayed the product. And, it was an absolute mess. I spent like every day running tests on tons and tons of G5s in a lab, in my office, with different experiments trying to figure out what the bug was. It was a bug with NVIDIA stuff. And it was an absolute nightmare. I'd go to work super early, run tests, stay there super late, gather data, repeat. And it turns out, NVIDIA had some memory settings set wrong in their F code, which they had apparently sworn up and down that they had everything done right. So whenever there's hardware done for VRAM, there's memory settings done in F code, right, to characterize the VRAM settings and stuff. They just were wrong. So they were just basically whack-a-moling it, trying to find a solution as opposed to getting the correct values. So every day was a little bit different value, different variables and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, now you got to clean out this bar thing I was just showing doing here. So generally this sometimes can just be just dirty and stuff. They just put a little bit of oil on there. This is actually really lucky. Just get the worst of it off here. But yeah, that was a terrible thing to have to go through, and we couldn't ship the display until the card was ready. Of course, we couldn't ship the card either. So I know that pissed off people at Apple, a lot of people. But that was like my first really horrible shit show, basically there. There were many others, but that was like one of the worst ones. Okay, so now let's see here. I'm gonna clean the heads while I got this thing down here. So again, gently, gently. Spread the head open gently, just enough to be able to get your Q-tip in there with a little bit of ISO. Clean the heads. Generally, it's the last thing I do on these guys because I'm trying to get all the dirt around them so it doesn't get on the heads. That's clean. There you go. Clean. All right, next. This sucker. So everyone knows about floppy eject gears grinding and being destroyed in these drives. That's inside here. So first thing you want to do is, generally there's some grease on this little guy here. Clean that off so it doesn't get in on everything. Not too bad. Sometimes these will have screws on them. Sometimes they'll have a little clip here, and the clip can break. I've only broken one, knock on wood. But yeah, so you don't want to basically use like a giant metal like screwdriver or something to pop this open, but the clip just kind of folds back and then this thing hinges open. So I'm just going to get in here at an angle, fold it back gently, and lift it up. Look in here. Take this gear out. You have 3 gears. Gently take this gear out. It's upside down, see? And then this is the gear that shreds itself. And actually, this one looks pretty good. So it looks okay, but generally what I'll do, I'll take it out and I'll actually bend it a little bit. They are supposed to be a little bit bendable because they're actually supposed to break. It's the whole point of this thing is that it's supposed to break so it doesn't just grind up the whole motor if something's jammed. But obviously over time, these have become really, you know, like degraded and they just break up and stuff. So I'm actually going to leave this in here because I'm one of those people, unless I'm giving it to somebody, which I'm, you know, unless I'm giving it to somebody or something and it seems like a good gear, I'll just leave it in there. I keep database of fixes I make on my Macs and stuff, and I make a note that I haven't actually replaced the gear. So if something goes wrong in the future, I'll come back and, you know, just replace the gear. It's not a big deal for me to do. But if it's working, it's working. And I don't want to just go through my stock of 3D printed gears and stuff. So let's say, oh, hey, Geek with Social Skills. GWSS, right? It's John, right? So when you put this thing back together, you want to make sure that this sucker is pointing that direction. Little top part on the gear. That way it'll actually work properly. This gear goes back upside down. Sometimes you have to replace the grease in here too. This one actually looks pretty good. It's not really dirty or anything. I'm just going to leave it as is. That goes in there. Pull this out a little bit. Snap back down. Done. Okay. What's your question? What is your question, RetroTechie? Did you ever run QC on a product that was never released? Haha, yes. I probably can't. There was a couple things we did. It was hilarious. We spent a ton of time on them and they just never shipped. I don't know how much I want to talk about those right now because they were, you know, they were not released. But, you know, there were the easiest things, of course, were always like configurations for things, right? Like, oh, we didn't ship that configuration or this video card or something, or that was canceled. And that was always hilarious. The best part was, for us in graphics, and this, you know, iMacs especially, Apple marketing would come up with about like, you know, oh, let's ship a new iMac. Let's have like 6 different GPU configurations, right? So that might be like, you know, different speed GPUs with different memory sizes, different SKUs, and, you know, across the different sizes. Whoops. And, you know, we'd have to qualify them all, which generally, you know, it could be a lot of work, not a lot of work, depending on the, you know, the age of the system and stuff. But, and what would suck is by the time you get near the end, it'd be like, you know what, we're going to drop 2 of those SKUs. So yeah, that work you done on 2 of those configs, yeah, you just, not needed. Thanks. So that was always annoying whenever that happened. But yeah, that would actually happen pretty often. And sometimes we almost sort of like, almost kind of relied on it to some extent. All right, so the next part is we're going to start reassembling this, and we're going to start lubricating stuff. I use lithium grease for a good chunk of this, and some simple 301 oil as well for some other parts. Some people use other things, other people use other things, etc., etc. But this is what I use. It's pretty good. It's worked pretty well. I like to make a little tool. One nice thing that works for applying the grease. Let's zoom out a little bit here. One nice thing that works for applying the grease is I take a Q-tip, and so what I do is I use my snippers and I trim this off at an angle to make like a nice little tool. This is gonna go flying. So it makes like a nice little tool. You can see that. You can use to apply the grease. Squirt a little grease, grab the grease. And, you know, as usual, less is more for grease. So, again, Bruce's has a really good guide, like telling you where to actually put the grease and where, you know, how to apply it, how much, etc. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. You can get more specific, but yeah. Otherwise, like I said, when you take it apart, you can see where the grease was generally as you're cleaning up and stuff. Hey, Red Checkadai, thanks for joining. So, grease here and there. A little bit of grease around these guys. Come on. Puts the grease or gets the hose. Yeah, great. Scary. There's a cool picture I saw of that actress, right, from that movie, with what's his name? The heck was the name? The serial killer. Anyway, but they're like sitting together, like, you know, and she's in her you know, her costume, I guess, when she was in the pit, and they're like, you know, with their arm around each other, smiling. It's all disturbing. It's funny, you know, for the actors. It's funny. Little bit of grease here and there. And then I'm gonna put some grease. The G6 chip, does it exist? No. There was of course, a dual G4. Oh, missed that. Wow, I missed a big working bit of yuck on here. There was a dual G4 PowerBook, of course. There was also a tablet that was based on, I think, a G4. There was other things, but yeah. Actually, not that clean. There we go. Much better. Okay. Yeah. So on the gear, put some grease on here. And try to turn it without getting grease all over your finger, which is kind of hard to do. Not too much. Here we go. Okay. That looks pretty good. All right, so let's do, so let's put in the reed head. What we first have to do, we have to lubricate the little bar it slides on. So for that, 3-in-1 oil. And back to the Q-tip. Again, what I do is I like to put the 3-in-1 oil actually on a bit of a Q-tip here so it doesn't go all over. And gently lubricate the rail back and forth. Slippery. Okay. Good. So to put this back, it's a bit fidgety. You have to basically put it in an angle to get the clip part onto the I know all the terminology for this really well, apparently. Onto the spinny thing. Yeah, so you kind of have to go at an angle, clip it in. And then this little plastic bar here has to be underneath this thing here. Super easy to see, I know. Again, I'll defer to Bruce's video if you want a better guy than my explanation here. Okay, so then once you do that, the little bar thing kind of rests down there. And then I'm going to plug these in so I don't get grease all over them. Yeah, I know, right? Technical. And then just 2 little screws, put it back in here. Just get the screws to go in. The iPad G4. So I never saw it. I can just say it existed because I've seen people talk about it outside of Apple places at some point. I remember seeing. I just know it existed. I know it was basically the idea was you took a, it's almost like a iBook G4, basically the innards sort of, and you make a tablet out of it. And that was a proof of concept thing that was going to potentially be a product, but obviously wasn't because it would have been ridiculous. And I'm sure the touchscreen idea wouldn't have been really great yet. Obviously, there were companies that did the tablet thing, right, with iBooks. We all know about that and stuff, but I'm not sure if that's what they were trying to, to copy. Okay, so that's on there. You got it screwed in. Next thing is this guy. This goes on next. So obviously, you want to have this orientated back here like that. Put it on there, nice and slidey. And then to put the little grommet things back on, I'm going to go with grommet. That's the term I'm going with. What I like to do is use this tool again. So you line it up, put it over top of the hole, and then I put this thing on top, and I kind of push it down on either side with my finger. Spread it over top of the hole, and then right down. Boom. Boom! Makes it sound like that. I need a nice Chianti. Some fava beans. Boom. Come on, come on. Okay. Going good. Okay. Next is the eject gear mechanism doodle thingy boo boo. So you do want to put a little bit of grease on this little bobby, the dobby jobber. A little bit, not crazy. Just the right amount. Too much is too much. Too little is not enough. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't have to be perfect. So to put this back in, again, Bruce talks about this in this video. There's wires down here for the other gear, the other motor for the head. You want to make sure they're tucked in here, and then there's a hook thing here on the corner that hooks onto here. So it kind of goes into there, and then it kind of folds down. So generally, I want to plug this in first, hook it in, make sure this thing's fold backwards, see, and then clip it down, nice and tight. Now, ironically, I might be taking this off later because I need to use this to troubleshoot something else. I'm probably going to be testing a little bit, but we're going to put it down anyway. 2 more screws. Also, just FYI, and I haven't really had good success with this, so there are at least 2 different versions of these mechanisms. There's ones that has a PCB board on top, like this, and there's one that just have like a little plastic thing on top. It's all open. So according to Adrian's Digital Basement, he claims that there's a sensor in here, and if it gets dirty, it will make this motor weak in some form, like the actual signal will get through. So he's blasted this with deoxin before, and there's like a hole back here you can do it. So I will say if you have a drive that's super like dirty on the inside, and there's a chance stuff could have gotten in there. So I will say that that's a possibility for having a problem. It's helped him before. I had a drive that was pretty dirty, and I tried it, didn't help, but I don't know if that's actually what the problem was. So sometimes drives are just weak. RetroTechie's gonna contact me offline, huh? Uh-oh. Dobby jobber thingy mabooble. Yeah. You should Sean, you should watch one of Joe's streams. Okay. That part. Now, the last part here. Gotta still lubricate this. So this part, basically I'm gonna put some lubrication grease on this part here, and then you can put some oil into other spots over here. Back to our little grease tool. I gotta laugh. This drive actually was 2 things. It was incredibly clean on the inside for most I've actually seen. And actually lubrication wasn't that bad at all. So I'm like, I got this worrying feeling that me taking it all apart and lubricating and fixing it up is actually going to make it worse. But I didn't test it ahead of time. Sometimes drives just work, you know. I reserve all rights to say I told you so if it doesn't work. I'm off to buy more grease. Make sure you get the big one, Steve. All right. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a little oil underneath here. So this is actually the one time we put a little drop. Little drop there, just underneath there. A little more actually, in the corner here. Whoop, missed it. Where's my oil stick? There you go. That's right, lithium grease, white lithium grease, and 3-in-1 oil. And actually, so Dave from Dave's Vintage Apple Tech says he does all of his with just machine oil, like showing machine oil. All of it. It doesn't use grease at all. I actually haven't done that before. I'm actually very curious. I was going to try a drive like that. But most people use the lithium grease and stuff. Okay. That's all lubed up. Lubed up as you... Well, hopefully nobody says. Okay. Now, getting this back on is a little bit of a trick. It's a simple trick. It's just a simple trick. So, what you have to do is you just do like this, and then it's on there. Boom, done. No. So, basically, you have to pull this thing forward, right? This guy here... Actually, I need to put a little grease onto the front ones first. See, even I forget. But the little knobby thing... The little knobby thing kind of fits down just a little bit. Okay. The little knobby thing here fits into that slot there, and it kind of hooks into that thing there. Super simple. So it kind of goes down like that at an angle. Kind of hook it down, and then this just drop, and you just kind of work this forward and backwards, and there it is. Done. It's in there. Then you gotta do your springs. Again, I like to use little like tweezers like this, so you don't want to bend the spring too much. There's a little hoop here, and you can easily stretch it out. Just hook it on there. I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Hook it on here. Boom. There we go. All assembled. Now you can test it. Push it back, and if you want to drop it, you just pull this sucker here. And then you push this back, and then it drops. So do this a few times. Work the grease and oil through. And actually, I gotta say, this doesn't feel that great. It feels okay, but it doesn't feel super great. I hope the head remains clean without lubricant. Needs more lubricant. Okay, and obviously I'm doing this right now without the... Remember the little clip thing, the very, very first thing I removed, the clip thing? Because I don't want to be raising and dropping the head. The head's just staying still right now. Just raising and dropping the mechanism. The head's not doing anything. Alright. When you're done, drop it, and then this goes back on. In this orientation, the dot goes forward, and then this slips on and clips. It kind of slides onto this little thing here. Just goes forward and it clips right on. See? Easy peasy. And then when you raise it, now it raises the head. There you go. All right, so I think I want to test this. The other drive I have here is one I fixed on a stream, and it has a funny problem. I suspect either the motor's bad or something's just funky with the motor. It actually moves really nicely, but as soon as it does a one eject, it gets about halfway, and then it just all jams up. Now it's all jammed. All the mechanisms jammed. So I haven't actually come across something like this before. And it's not the gear or anything. The motor seems to be okay. But anyway, I might swap it. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to set up a system here I can test this with. Test all these drives. Bada boom. This is my, gosh, maybe my favorite Mac right now, honestly. This is a LC475 I fixed up a while back. Placed the fan. It's all been recapped. What is missing there? Oh, this is wrong. But yeah, this is a great system. Nice blue SCSI. I use this thing all the time to do stuff, but we're going to use this as a test bed for the floppies. Okay, so which is this? This is the broken one. This is the good one. Let's first test. First test the manual ones. Okay. Let's see if we can get a display set up over here. Get this out of the way so I don't accidentally shut it all off. See you, Sean. Thanks for joining. Or I should say, what a quitter. Why are you leaving? Isn't this riveting? All right. And keyboard. We got a mouse. And I think that's all we need. Got the floppy plugged in. Okay, so let's boot it up. And I will need a floppy disk. Get my floppy disk. Oh. Boot, boot, boot. Okay, so got my, try this disc first. Didn't sound great. It works though. Okay. Ugh. Nope, not ejecting. That is jammed. See what I said about these? Easy to repair. Yeah, this one sounds terrible. This is the manual inject. Blech. Yeah, all right, that one's got to be cleaned. That actually does need cleaning on the inside. Sounds terrible. All right, that one needs cleaning. Let's try the other one. It actually might. Is that hitting the bottom there? It might actually be hitting the bottom too. The bottom of the floppy might be hitting the thing I've got sitting on. So I'm going to use this, you know, of course, Harry Connick Jr. CD, of course, right? Where's my camera? Second drive, second manual inject. That also sounds terrible. It's like, bleh. Yep, that one's gummed up too. Yeah, wow, this one's terrible. I'm not even reading it. Well, those actually need work. Who would have thought? All right, so let's test the auto inject drive. Did I grab the wrong one? Damn it, did I grab the wrong drive? Of course, I grabbed the wrong drive. This is the drive that is all jammed up. Price check, Mac LC2 with the typical cap juice, but no battery bomb, $41. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, almost definitely, obviously the logic board would need to be recapped and very likely the power supplier. If not, you should do it anyway. Yeah. And actually, LC2s, the case may not be brittle even. You know, there's a very good chance it just may be fine. Of course, they're not very fast. It's like a Color Classic and a slab, right? But not too bad. Let's copy over Jared. Good old Jared. Why didn't the snow silicon, right? Their effort to make that stable and nice and stuff. Good. So let's try that next. I actually have a fair amount of room in this room, but I have things set up really inefficiently. Everything's crammed on this one little desk over here. All right, let's go back to here and take apart this sucker. What I'm gonna do is pull off the gear on this one and put up my bad one. So how can I mark good gear? Little check. Come on. Come on. Gosh, now I'm getting grease in my hand. All that grease somebody put on here. Damn grease. Alright, lift out this sucker again. Where's my grease rag? My anti-grease rag. You go over there. Get you out. Fold this back. Pull out the gear. Alright, and you go to the side for now. This is tricky, getting this back out of here, unfortunately. So when this thing jams, it's all weird. Really hard to get that top plate out. I hope this drive works, because this drive is actually even cleaner than the other ones. Which may explain why it looks so clean. Maybe it just jammed up really bad. Maybe whoever owned it beforehand had problems. Yeah, I apologize. I think I'm starting to drop frames here. Let me know if I'm dropping frames, guys. Pretty bad. This poor iMac here is just struggling. So get this thing out. Got to kind of jimmy it again. Actually, I should probably do this first, I would say. Oh, it came out nicely. Okay, not a problem. So you can see the gear inside there is stuck turned kind of halfway. It's all messed up. Gear in, screw it down. Okay, now screw. Bada boom, bada bing. There we go. Let's use this one. All right, ready for testing. Let's see if it's the mechanism, the drive, or some of the gear. We shall see. Switch over to this camera here. Boom. Yeah. Floppy, where's my... Actually, I did, but I'm sure you didn't hear me because it's turned into a slideshow, I guess, right? Is it still really bad? Is the video improving? Is things syncing up now a little better? Or is it still horrible? Good. This is a slideshow now. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I guess I'm going to cut this short then because like I said, doing a test here with this other camera setup, and this system just can't handle the load, I guess. Not sure really what's going on wrong. I'm dumping a bunch of frames. Back to normal, really? For how long, I wonder? I don't know. Well, I'll keep going for a bit. Let's see what happens. Not sure. I did drop down the resolution of my camo camera. I'm not sure if that's any better. It's funny because actually the, yeah, actually I think it's, so I think what it is, I think it's OBS trying to compress all these streams. And it just can't handle on this system. This is a 2012 iMac, so it's not really the best thing to be doing this with. And like I said, adding another camera to it. Also, the camo camera I was using, I had it 1080p, and all the cameras at 1080p. I'm also broadcasting at 1080p, so it might just be too much for it. Yeah, thank you. So I really need to improve this Mac. I actually have a lot of Macs I could use in theory, but I'm not. So again, like I said, I have the room in here, and I don't have it set up very well. So my apologies. To answer your question, Retro Techie, Snow Leopard. Definitely the reason was they were trying to push people onto Intel at that point. There was a big push for Intel, just like now for Apple Silicon. So Snow Leopard, of course, was a much longer project than we had to actually make a stable, good OS. There was a concerted effort to really make, solid, stable OS. Obviously, because they wanted it to be really good. But yeah. I kind of wish they had released it for it too, but I understand at the time they were, we were definitely trying to move everything to Intel, just like now with Apple Silicon. So I'm sure that's what happened. So to summarize, my experiment for my 2 drives, it definitely tracked to the bad motor mechanism. So the motor mechanism in this drive, this is the culprit. Whatever is wrong with this is what's causing the problem. So I don't know if it's the gears in it. I think it's actually just the motor. So I'm going to do a little experiment here if I can. Got some in my eye. I'm going to run this. I can set this up without making a huge mess. Run this open. So I can just spin the motor. So what's the best way to do this? Let's just go to this view. Probably better, more useful. I'm going to do, put this here, plug this in. Actually, what I'm going to do first, I need to pull out the eject gear, the whole mechanism in here. I want to just turn this motor around. So I'm going to pull out this gear here, the center gear. And I'm going to plug this in. Hopefully everything won't fall out and turn over. I'm just going to run it like that. And that should be stable. Yes, okay. Let's see here. So it's just money, yeah. I don't know money or support or, just trying to move on to the next thing really, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to, I've done this before, I'm just trying to get into the OS so I can just get this thing to an eject loop, and it'll think it just needs to keep ejecting. I think that'll work. I might have to put this whole mechanism back on. Make it think there's a drive in it. Not sure. Actually, I probably do. Yeah, I think now I think about it, I think I do. Yeah, because it's not, I'm going to see a drive in there. There we go. Spin motor. Oh, it ejected. It's hilarious. Gonna hold down the little sensors. And then the screen's telling me to, hey, there's a disc inserted. You want to eject it? Eject. Ooh. This isn't even turning. Just pushing this down, trying to eject, get this thing to spin. I'm going to say eject again. That is spinning, okay. So let's do it now with the gear in there. Okay, again. Waiting for it to say eject. Now I'm telling the OS to eject. And it's spinning all right, huh? That is interesting. Put it back to normal position here. Why isn't it working when it's in the drive then? The exact same mechanism with the other motor works fine. Huh. Fiddly. Check again. It's going all the way around even too. Don't understand. Huh. I'm not sure. All right, so, Let me put this one back together. Put the drive in properly. And it'll just jam up again on me. Nothing can go wrong like this, working on a system like this. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, top part, where are you? Put the other top part. Oh, here it is. Do that from here. There, I'm gonna take that off. I have to put the things in anyway. Right now I'm doing experiments to see what was causing the drive to jam up. So right now, putting the motor that seemed to be working fine back into the mechanism that was not working fine. And see if it does the whole jam up thing again. Actually, this is the other mechanism. So I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't like, maybe the combination of that exact motor and this exact mechanism. It's so hard to do things on camera. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. Try again. Let's see what this does. Hey, Dave. Thanks for joining. I'm fiddling with floppy drives. Trying some different camera things that are hit or miss. Oh, also I'm on Wi-Fi, which I've been told is not the best thing to do when you're trying to stream. But it's actually been really stable. Like I said, what dropped before it was the OBS was having trouble processing everything, apparently. Okay, so let's do the floppy. Now here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna put the disk in, it's gonna work fine. Can't see the screen right now. Actually, let me probably bring that up. Nah, doesn't matter. Put the disk in, it'll work. Then when it goes eject, it'll jam all bad. Okay, it's mounted fine. Open the disk. Now here's when I go to eject, watch. See, and it just jams. Now the thing's stuck halfway. Yep, same thing. So I gotta think it's gotta be the mechanism then. No, it's the drive. It's definitely this drive thing. It's weak. Maybe I'll try the thing Adrian did. Okay, I'm gonna try it. Why not? Let's try it. Go get an M1 Mac, yeah. Actually, I did just get a MacBook Air. I'm laughing. I'm tempted just to try. Setting up to do a stream off it to see how reliable it would be, just for like a quick stream or something, right? Of course, it only has 2 ports. I could do, and I have a. I did get a breakout, like a hub thing. I wonder how well they work. If I actually got a proper Thunderbolt hub, a breakout thing, it probably would work okay. But I'm not sure what the bandwidth would be like. But definitely the CPU power would be better than this thing. I should try it though. Seriously, should. So I suspect what's wrong is this, the actual motor mechanism. So this is the mechanism from the other drive that I just fixed on stream and was working fine with the other motor, the other one of these motors. I put that motor into the other drive, which was not working, and it works fine. So it definitely tracks to this thing here. So it is moving on its own, but I'm thinking what it is, it just doesn't have enough strength in it to actually like fully eject it, and then it fully just gets like jammed in here. Yeah, so I'm going to take this out again. I'm going to blast it with some deoxit. But otherwise, this motor's probably gone. I can take this out here, yeah. I have to do the whole thing. Yes, should be fine. Yeah, it is hard to do things on camera. You're leaning over and trying to get things and your hand's in the way, and right? Actually, I might be able to reset this without having to redo this. Oh yeah, that's a way easier way to reset that. Silly Garth. Take it all apart. It's easier to just do that. I'm going to take this open. I don't think it's the gear. Maybe the lubrication of these gears just isn't enough in here now. Alright, I tried first blowing up here. So I'm blowing air into this little crack here, just in case there's any gunk inside here, dust or something, but really nothing's coming out. This can actually come off. I've never taken one of these off before, and I'm scared to do it because I'll probably break. Where's my glasses? MacBook Air QC, right? Yeah, I get it. That's after I left. I get it. Okay. Some stuff came out. I really doubt this is the problem, though. Alright. Put that back down. I'm going to put a little bit more lubrication in here and clean this out. Try to do a little of this on camera. See my fruitless efforts. Gonna clean this out some in here. Get the old grease out, put in new grease. Okay. Are you working today, Retro Techie? You said you had today off, right? Where's my grease? Grease! Grease! My kingdom for some grease. Grease. So you want to put about 2 gallons of grease in here. Yeah, got no room to work. Alright. A little bit on there. Spoke. A little bit on the spoke. A little bit on the spoke. A little bit on the bottom there. Just a little bit. Okay. See if that helps at all. If it doesn't work, I'll actually replace the gear just for shits and giggles, because I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the gear. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. And you clip the guy down. Okay, let's try this now. Let me get this in here. Shoehorn this back in here. Ugh. Yeah, that is an easier way to reset that. Much easier. Screw. You have a 2CX I'm ready to put back together too. I've just been, every one of these systems I have like one little piece that's not quite ready or fixed yet completely, and this is the drive for the 2CX. Well, at least the one that was acting up. This is sort of an amalgamation of the drives now. Okay, so ready to go. Retest it. Oh, actually not ready yet. Missing some. Oh no, actually it's on there. I thought I'd missing the thing on there. Actually, I might be able to test it right here. When it boots up, it should read the disk and then eject it because it's not a. It doesn't have an OS on it. Nope, jammed. Same thing. Big surprise. Yep, same thing. Can you have this? You don't want this. You want one that works. You can send it to Big Bad Biologist and he'll fix it for you. So, I don't know, man. What's up with this thing? Is it just a bad... Interesting. What a weird failure. I've never had anything act like this before. It doesn't really seem to act like it's weak, because when it's weak, you can just eject it, and then it'll just work anyway. But this just seems like it gets halfway and then stops. Boom. Not sure why. Alright, I'm going to do some deoxit. This actually is kind of similar to what Adrian was describing that one time. So this is going to be a big mess. I'm doing this off camera so I can do it over here over the can. Adrian was describing having a similar failure one time where it was just weak. Oh, I hate deoxit. It goes everywhere. Okay. I actually hooked this already up to my bench power supply and ran this for a while too. And it ran fine. It works fine. Is the gear? No, the gear's working. It was running fine with the lid open. Something on the inside of the lid maybe blocking it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Sure, it's good and clean. Good and clean. Where's my white rag? Had it in my hand already. Now you guys all get to see how Garth works. Okay. Test number 17,000. Screws. Yeah, I've actually had not too bad luck, honestly, working on these. This failure is weird. I've just not really come across this exact behavior before. Usually what happens is you clean them up and you get them working and either, the alignment's off, which good luck, or the or it just wasn't cleaned well enough, right? Like it's still kind of a weak eject. It just and usually what happens then, you can just run it a few times and it'll actually clear itself up pretty good. But yeah, this is just weird. It gets exactly halfway and then stops. Oh, I wonder if the sensors. No, it's not the sensors. It's a totally different. Everything's the same except for the drive. This drive worked fine. This mechanism. Okay, ready to go? Sharks, I did my first floppy drive repair and the classic sees it as off initialize and then fails initialization. So usually that could mean that the alignment is bad, or the head's just dirty too, right? But could be alignment. So I got to put the disc in, inject it. Here we go, please, please. Nope, stopped. Yeah, man, I'm gonna call this one. I don't want to spend too much more time on this. Oh, actually, wait, hold on. Did it actually go back down? No. It's in that jam state, I think. Yeah, it's in that jam state. It's funny, when it's in the jam state, the heads, that actually doesn't, the top platter doesn't actually go down all the way. So it's like this weird, I don't want to break anything. See, I'm going to call it. I don't know, man. I'm tempted to crack this sucker open, but there's like clips on here, but I'm not sure what I can see inside there. Annoying, because these drives aren't that common, to be honest. And I don't have any spares right now. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. I do have one more drive I need to service. I'm not sure if I'll do that right now. Throw it away. Yeah, great. Hey, Starbuck Tech. Thanks for joining. I'll give it to you, Batch Techie. I'll mail it to you. And hang it on your wall. I might just keep this one for parts. Really, like I said, this drive is the one I just cleaned on stream with the other motor, and it worked fine. And the other one was the one I did in last stream, and it works fine with the other motor. This motor gets halfway and then immediately stops. Yeah, Retro will take it. Well, I will replace the gear in here, which I don't know why it would be the gear, but why not? Grab another gear. At least do that. It's easy. It's a low-hanging fruit. It probably needs to be done anyway. Nacho man. I want to be a nacho man. Who wants to be a nacho man? Who wants to be an apple man? I know who wants to be an apple man. Dan from Canadian Computer Collector Incorporated. He wants to be an apple man. Okay, so here's a Mac Effects gear. These are great, by the way. Really nice. Put that in here. Will it work any better? I doubt it. It just doesn't seem to be behaving like that. That's the problem. If I'm wrong, well, I'll be happy because I'd much rather have this thing work than being right. Okay. Solid as a rock. Drive this back, plug it back in. Get in there, Mr. Man. You dirty birdie. Deoxit everywhere now. Damn you, Deoxit. Don't know. Don't understand it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Is it going to work? Place your bets now. Will it work? Bzz, bzz, bzz. Go, go, work, work, work. Take the square thing off the logic board. This thing? Maybe. Ooh. It sounded different because the gear was different, but it stopped in the same place. Oops, no keyboard. Oh well. Sorry, Mac. All right. One more thing I want to try. It's where I take it off here and I throw it out the window. Lube the motor. You mean inside the gears? Inside the gears? Lube on this thing, or lube inside here, the gears? I'm actually gonna put a little more lube on there though. I'm gonna put the old gear back in though. The old gear. So I'm a cheapskate. I'm gonna put this yellowy brown gear back in there. That's definitely the thing you want to do. I will say, when I get here, the gear has quite a bit of resistance. The actual motor, like a lot of resistance right there. A lot right through there. Here's the other motor. Let me compare that. I bet it's just weak. Maybe there's just crap inside there. There's just not enough strength to actually do the whole eject thing. That makes most sense. I have had weak motors before, like I said, but generally what happens is you let them run, or let's compare it to this one. So this is the bad drive. Bad, you go bad over here. This is the good drive. Let's take this one off and see what it feels like to spin it. Because that is really... I'm trying to greasing up the PSU. Maybe that would work. Yeah, but what inside the eject motor, though, specifically the gears inside it? So I've greased inside... I've greased inside the gears and on the little knob here. Is there anywhere else I can grease? Or lubricate? This is the good one. Let's see how easy this is to spin. The other one does feel really hard to spin. This feels good. Yeah, that's the problem. The other ones, I think the motor's just like seizing. So in the other one, when I get about here, it's really hard to spin in this section here. This one's fine, just spins fine. I mean, there's a little bit of resistance, but it's like we normally feel in a gear or in a motor. But that one, the other one has a really, really stiff right through here. Whoops, well, of course that's stiff now. It's locked in. This is the bad one. Bad on that. That's a lot more resistance right there. Doesn't feel horrible though. I don't know. See if I can get lubrication underneath here. Just pop off. I'm gonna break this. I don't know. I'm tempted to take the back part off here. All right. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? I'd rather not ruin this, but it is already kind of ruined. And really, all this is doing leave the motor in vinegar all night to free it up. Thanks. Actually, what is that in there? Oh, it's just the stuff in there, yeah. Where's Mr. Flashlight? Oh, yeah, that. So, Good point. Yes, I probably should try that. You're right. But what really feels like, so I've got it all disconnected right now. It's not actually hooked up to that motor, right? To the actual brass part. This part here, when it spins through this section through here, feels particularly tough. Like, pretty hard. Whereas on the good one, smooth all the way around. So it almost feels like this itself is has some sort of resistance on it. Well, now it feels good though. Holy cow. All right, but you're right. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on that one spot there. Without dripping it everywhere. Oop, right on top there. And need to spin that, unfortunately. I don't have anything on here now. Get off there, Mr. Mirror. Spin. Okay, that's better. It's spinning. Recap it, yeah. Okay, that is well worked in there. Get in there. Come on. What you doing there? What you doing? Oh, that's for the other motor. That's hilarious. It actually has a different... Yep. Okay. Boom. Let's try this now. Falafels. That does sound good. I haven't eaten lunch yet. I had a big breakfast though. Come on, Screw, pick up. Okay. Test number 12. Who's keeping count? Plug in the keyboard so I can actually shut this thing down normally. Falafel man. Who wants to be a falafel man? Okay. Do your work, Mac. Check that Floppy. There's no OS on it. Here we go. Are you kidding me? Big Bad Ballad just got it. Did you guys see that? Did you see that? That was it. It was just the lubrication on the actual motor itself. Oops, now what's it doing? System's like, you shut me down wrong last time. Well, that's really cool. That's freaking awesome. It freaking works. Yeah, okay. Okay, Adrian. Here we go. We're ready? 3, 2, 1. Eject. Look at that. I mean, that I will call that a little weak motor, but it works. That is fine. That is awesome. See? Woohoo! Well, that makes me very happy. Thank you, B. Kill that bird, please. That bird's coming for you someday. So that's really cool. Damn. So you know what? Big bad biologist, big bad. I gotta know your real name some of these times because this is getting hard to say. But I've not done that before. I don't think, and I'm not even sure if it was in Bruce's guide. Funny enough. I mean, it might be, and I just never done it. So gosh, yeah. So I put oil in there and I spun it around a bunch and it was better. So, holy smokes. Works perfect. Little slow, but it works. Needs a little more work. Roger, oh my gosh, come on. Have you seen the work I put into it so far? Actually, let's try the other drive. Let's do a comparison. So they got this one here. And then maybe I'll oil the other drive too, the same spot. Yeah, that's nice. Nice. Very nice. Big Bad Ballage is like, yeah, didn't you know you needed to do that too? I love it when like you learn something else like that, right? A little something like, oh yeah, there's that, you know, that little the actual gear itself, the actual, you know, oh geez, this is all jammed up again. The actual pinion for the gear. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and oil this. It's actually working pretty well. I'm gonna oil this one too. Little dot in here. Just a littlest of dot. Actually, I need to clean that off. There's a little mucky looking on top. Yeah, that's better. Where's my tweezers? Got a little junk in there. Not bad, not bad at all. Actually, I'm gonna clean this up. This looks like shite. It looks pretty bad. Let's pull out the gear. Where's my tweezers? I'll clean this all out in here and re-lubricate it all. Okay, I'll ease up. I'm teasing you. I'm totally teasing you. I don't know how long you've been watching. We've been mucking with this stupid thing here a bunch, and I worked on this on another stream. But at that time, I didn't really look into much about why it was seizing up. I wasn't sure if it was the mechanism. I just didn't clean it well enough or whatever. And I wanted another example I can compare it to. And after I cleaned up this other one, it was really easy, which was working fine, really easy to determine it was something to do with the whole motor mechanism. Whether it was the gears or, you know, not oiled enough, right? Little freaking dab. Come on. Perfect. Perfect. Spinning it around there. Spinny, spinny, spinny. I like the spinny. Alright, now let's use some grease. Grease. That's actually way too much grease. Grease in these spindles. Now we need a little grease on the bottom. Good. Get the gear in there. Upper gear. Get the hair off. Manage to pick up. Nice and sturdy. Pop the top. Make sure the top isn't all cut. It is. It is all covered with crap on the inside. Clean off the top. Bada boom, bada bing. All right, try this one now. Come on. Screw, don't fall. Perfect. Bam. All right, let's fire this up. Here we go. Let's pop it in. Nice. That sounds good. Well, now I know one more little bit of part of the gear that I need to oil and lubricate properly. That's good. If you're asking about this system, this is an LC475. Perfect. That sounds great. All right. Well, very good. 2 drives fixed. Except that didn't replace the gears because, you know, that gets people talking and that encourages engagement. You don't need to replace those eject gears. They're fine. Good enough. All right, so now, gosh, that might be it, guys. That might be, that's, 2 hours. Okay, yes. Yeah. I actually still need to take apart, those manual inject drives, which were terrible, but that's kind of boring. You just got to clean up the rails and stuff. I do have one more drive to service though. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll still do that. Stop. All right, I need to put this somewhere safe. So this, let's see here. Can I show you this a little better? Let me go back to this camera view. It's this guy. It's a slab, right? These drives are for my ever-growing stack of LC systems that I've been accumulating. But yeah, actually the one specifically I was working on today, they're for Quadra and Centris 610. I have a couple of them I've been working on fixing up. They were very beat shaped. They're okay condition. Plastics are very bad on them. But yeah, but those are what those are for. And I have a few other extra drives that I needed to do work on as well. In fact, one more I have is this one. I think I'm actually just go ahead and do this right now. Why not? This is from an LC. I wrote on it, needs servicing. You can tell because of my terrible handwriting. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do it. We can bust this one out in 8 minutes. It's gonna take a lot longer than 8 minutes. God. So why do they put these screws on the side so bloody hard? Like literally the hardest screws ever. The parrot is Squawker. That makes Retro Techie upset. Humorously. I mean, who doesn't want to watch 3 hours of floppy disk repairing? I don't know. I'm actually super happy that I got that other one working though, and I really appreciate your input there. B. I did not think that was going to make much difference. It just didn't seem to be that gear. But yeah, boy, that just livened it right up. Probably just another level of obstruction on it. Okay, wow, another drive that's like really good shape and clean. This is not bad, honestly. It's not bad at all. I've had some of these literally, I should take some pictures sometimes, but they're like literally gobs of hair and dust. Okay, so this one actually has some bad gunk on it. It's all dried up. You can clearly see that. Yeah, let me get this off here first. Okay, yep, drop the header on it. Good job, Garth. Got your springs. Come on. Why so many LCs? Gosh, that's a good question. To be honest, I I don't know. I really like the LC475s. They're and Quadra 605 basically the same system. Those are I just think they're great Macs for the time period. I like to run System 7.1. It's they're perfect little systems for that. They run it's like blazingly fast. They're actually really easy to work on. The power supplies are very repairable. The logic boards, there's schematics for most of them, and if you don't have it, like the LC3 power supply is very similar to the LC475, so it's close enough. But yeah, you can basically, there's schematics available, so if something is broken, you can generally figure it out. And yeah, I don't know, they're just kind of, I like them. The LC and the LC2 are pretty slow though, obviously. So they're not horrible. LC's pretty bad, but. The drive, yeah, that's my guess. Chalk is if it could be head misalignment, or also potentially dirty heads as well too, right? So, yeah, that's really the main things I could think of, right? I mean, if you've gone through and cleaned them up and stuff, but I mean, ideally, if you can swap out this guy for another Mac, if you another floppy drive, and if you've got a second one there, it's kind of handy. You can swap parts around and stuff too, right? That does make it a little easier. Obsession. It is a little bit of an obsession, I gotta say, lately. I do plan to give another one away at some point, but I don't know which one yet or how, and I hate to get it destroyed in the mail and stuff, so I'm trying to be careful about how I do that. I did give one to Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, but I've given parts away to people before too. Give stuff to Ron and some other people. Okay. Not too bad. You can see this one's got the clearly dried up grease on it. See all that brown yellowy stuff? Okay, I don't need so many of these things here. Yeah, again, maybe the heads, but I don't know, man, if it's doing that. I did have a drive that was doing that recently, and I can't remember what the deal was with it, honestly. Yeah. I mean, drop a little bit. Oh, so cool. This one actually does have the whole drive motor thing here that for the head. You can take this one out, so it's actually a little easier to clean. Put this over here. This guy slides out nice and gently. A quick jerky motion. No. And finally this. God. Stop. You really put these in tight. Over here, and you're going to go right here. I'm going to be all caught up in floppy disks. LC, huh? Well, I might just have an LC for you, maybe. Actually, I have a dead LC right now, annoyingly. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. It's just, I turn it on and get nothing. Which turning it on really doesn't really tell you all that much because it's just a, hard power supply. It's actually not even that bad. Not that dirty. It's nice you can take this right off. It's easier to clean. You don't have to get all the muckiness. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, but it's not working, so I'm not quite sure why. I actually need to look into that a little more. I don't have a scope, which kind of sucks. Which would be much easier to help figure out that, I guess. But I do have a logic probe. Can I recap an analog board? I have Mac Plus actually. Analog boards that probably could use a recap, but I don't have any caps for it right now. Funny you should ask. I do notice. So I noticed actually in these drives, the lube only seems to be on these two pins here for some reason. I've noticed. I wonder if they only do those two. And other times I've seen none. And other times I've seen it on all four too, though. But last few I've done, it seems like it's only been on those two. Who knows? It's a mystery. actually have more CD-ROMs I need to recap, though. At least 2, I think. Looks like from a year. But I might do those on Dave's stream on Sunday if I'm on that one. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on there, though. Okay, that is pretty clean. Nope. Just a big hunk right there. Nice clean floppy drive. Put that somewhere. Somewhere. Do I have an internal discount? No. I did just buy, actually funny, I just bought a 2015 MacBook Pro locally here. For cheap-ish. Cheaper than normal, right? And its battery had swollen, you know? And but yeah, so it turns out there's actually still a recall on those batteries. And the recall is a safety recall, so they will still replace them for you. So I literally, like 2 days later, I took it to the Apple store, yeah, no problem, we can replace that. And like they're like asking me, I was like, yeah, I just bought this thing. I don't know any history on it and stuff. And I think the speakers in it are actually blown too, or going. So, but anyway, yeah. But I haven't heard back from them, but I should get it for free. But it's funny because after I left it there, and then like the next day, I got an email and actually a voicemail from them saying, "Hey, yeah, we got your part in for your MacBook Pro. Just got to bring in your unit so we can repair it." I'm like, I already left it there. Yeah. Anyway, but that was fun. I had to call Apple support and talk to somebody and convince them, no, you guys already have it. Yeah, actually, make sure you check out Big Bad Biologist's channel. He is giving away an LC3 that he's restoring right now. All you have to do to enter is go to his channel, find that video, and you can enter. I just modded you, B. So you can add the link to that video if you want in the chat there. Once the mod goes through. Scamming your former employees for free batteries. Yeah, I had to laugh because the guy there, I told him that I'd work for Apple because that way I could get special service. I'm just kidding, but he's like, oh, okay, cool, but he was because I had a question about my iPhone too, which was I have a problem with my iPhone, and how long would it take to get something fixed on it? And I said, well, I'm gonna wait until the new one's announced, in a few weeks. He's like, what do you mean a new one? What do you mean? There's no phones being announced. I was like, yeah, okay, dude, it's funny. We all know what's going on there. I know the score. If I'm not Apple, I'm little people. If you're not cop, you're little people. I'm sorry. You're all not little people. We're all little people now. Oh boy. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. Get the grease chunks. Floppy drive. It's funny because actually, Rich Techie, when I left work, I think you saw the. I can show you the video though. All the test systems I had in my office, right? And a number of them had swollen batteries already. They were swelling, right? And that exact system actually was one of my test systems. And that's the reason why I got this one again, because I actually like that model. It's 2015, so it's before the horrible keyboard, and it's the one without discrete graphics, which is actually, in my opinion, better right now, honestly. For what I'm going to use it for, which is just going to be media consumption. But anyway, the batteries were all swelling in them and stuff. And when I left, I just just put them underneath my desk. I'm like, yeah, you guys need to take care of those. They're all swelling. But I didn't want to get rid of them because I needed them, and I knew the days were numbered, and if they don't do repairs on protos at work, so those are all protos. Okay, so that's cleaned up. These are cleaned up. Doing things out of order here. Clean up the spindle here. Yeah, definitely give a sub to Big Bad Ballage. Is excellent work. It's actually super cool to see more people who honestly really know what they're doing. I know some things, but there's so much I don't know. Believe me, there really is, and I like to learn. But there's definitely things people know different things. You know, that's really cool. And he definitely knows a lot of stuff, like that Adam guy. Okay, now use the old toothbrush trick. Good for your teeth. I have 2 jars of ISO. One is my dirty jar, which I don't mind putting dirty into it so much. And then I have a very clean one that I only use for, like, you know, clean things. I want to have clean. This is, of course, my dirty one. That's why you see me double dipping. And who can recognize what this jar is for? I bet nobody can. I bet nobody can. Or maybe somebody can. That's all clean. Now let's do this. The head thing. Gotta be gentle. Yeah. Antenna gate. That's hilarious. It's actually, I know everyone's already talked about this before, but it's a perfect example of how, you know, the secrecy of a product can actually hide bugs, obviously. And I mean, it's pretty well known at this point that very likely the reason why that bug got out, right? The idea that the antenna having it like that on the edges, because they had it in those cases where they were hiding them, that made them look like an iPhone 3 case or an iPhone 3, was, you know, obscuring the bug. Basically, you were basically covering up those antenna connectors on the side, and so secrecy trumps, man. There were definitely times when features or changes would come along so late because they were, you know, like PD changes and stuff, that there's just no time to change them by the time anybody actually got into the wide masses. Kind of unfortunate. Get the gunk out between there. Rest in peace, my box of Q-tips here, boy. Going through them today. Cleaned the gunk. Now I'll go around and clean around the head some. Not the head itself, just cleaning the hole here. Again, this drive is actually really quite clean already. Usually you'll find like gobs of dust in here and shit. Not too bad though. Okay, now this guy. This is kind of kicked on here. That is interesting. Kind of brown looking there, if you can see that. I'm not sure why that's so brown. This drive may not work for some reason. Come on. Yeah, this one's being futzy. What was the ugliest Mac you worked with? They're all beautiful. There's no ugly Macs. The ugliest was the ugly keyboard on the... Oh yeah, this has just got dirt. Some dirt in there. The ugliest is the, of course, the 2016 later keyboard. I suspect... Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. If you see that? Just crumbled as soon as I touched it. I suspect it too. You can see how the brass is reactive with the plastic there. This is just crumbled. Time for a new eject gear. Easy peasy. Yeah, some think the Molar Mac is ugly. I think it's quite unique looking. It's kind of huge, obviously. Honestly, I gotta say, I'm not too big fan of the current new 24-inch iMacs. The colors are just weird. I don't know. I really was excited when I saw they were doing colors again and stuff, but I was like, the anodized color just looks kind of weird. And then the whole white on the white bezel and stuff looks kind of weird too. Got hunks of goo in there. Too much crap in there now. Okay, scraping out all the gunk in here. Still some old grease. This one definitely needed it. Yeah, see, this one spins really nicely too. Okay. Let me come back to that because I want it to dry out. Got a little bit of alcohol in there. All right, let's work on lubing this up. Start lubing. Time to start lubing. Did you ever break a prototype and beg to keep your high-paid job? No. It was pretty, I don't think I actually broke much. I don't remember really breaking anything. I mean, things would just break on their own, right? Because they were protos. And honestly, protos, physically, they were taped together and, depends on what generation they were. Generally everything's built into the previous generation's enclosures of some sort, if there is one. And even sometimes it's obfuscated in that way too. But portables would come in the acrylics and stuff. But yeah, they were always delicate anyway. The biggest thing was the software just going on them and something fun, firmware eating itself, which is annoying because then you'd have to go turn it in to get repaired and it'd take time, and which generally didn't have, All right, so let's do. Where's the grease? Grease, oil. A little bit of oil here. Oil the rail. I remember actually it's funny, the ADC CRTs, the 17-inch CRTs, I think they were called 17-inch studio displays. The the versions that we had of those, I don't know what, like the EVTs or whatever, they literally had on the actual display itself on the back, if you've seen one before, on the back of the CRT at the top of it, there's a plastic around section there. That where there's vent holes, all those EVTs came with that section just removed, so you could just reach in there and touch. Whoops, it's yeah, don't do that, right? So there was a little, some rarely, but not usually. Sometimes there was some danger, involved in that sense. But yeah, most of the prototypes would come in funny cases. The actual proto case for the Cube was pretty cool. It was metal. It's actually pretty cool. I had a blue and white G3 with a clear case for many years at work. I don't know whatever happened to it. I think I tossed it. Tossed it in the bin. Okay, so those are all done. Let me start this here. What am I doing here? Where am I doing here? Oops, too much. Lots of grease. Probably too much grease. My Mac seems to be much more stable now. Okay, pretty good. Put your kids through college. Actually, honestly, one of the coolest protos I ever came across at work, and it was before my time, but I came across the proto for it, was the proto for the Macintosh TV. You know, the black one? The proto that I came across was in a Color Classic case. So it was a Color Classic with the Macintosh TV board, a modified analog board to run at 640 by 40, and obviously it had the TV tuner and everything. So basically it was a Macintosh TV in a Color Classic. It was really cool. I had that running for a while in my office. And codename, I think its codename was Hook, I think. If I remember correctly. I think it was Hook. Just remember it was written on it. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool because I'd always liked Color Classics before I even started working at Apple and stuff. And when I came across it, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a Macintosh TV. And I was also super into, like, you know, capturing analog video and stuff. And I had like a Quadra 630 with the AV board that I used to capture stuff off of television. And in fact, one of the videos on my channel, the stupid the 7-Up, the one ad thing, with the girls singing. Anyway, I actually captured that off a TV. That's almost too much now. Okay. Drop. Okay. All the parts are lubed up. Now let's put together this thing. Actually, I want to do this first. Drop of oil. Boop. Little drop. Go. Yeah. Spin smoothing, ideally without hair on it. Ooh, this motor is seized. Wow. That is seized. Yeah. Uh-oh. This one may be borked. This is just seized. Oh, that is not turning. Yeah. Wow. I can't even turn that. It's starting to go. Oh, hi, Jennifer Beagle. Thanks for joining. Did you ever talk to Johnny? You mean Johnny Ive? No. I never talked to Johnny. Oh, it's working. The oil is unseizing this. Who would have thunk? Oh my goodness, look at that. It's moving nicely now. You can actually see it. Yeah, we actually got to, when I was working, actually pretty early on, when we did the, I think it was it Rage 128? Basically, when Quake 3 was coming out, which came out actually first for the Mac, if you guys remember, with OpenGL and stuff, they wanted us to do a demo for a board meeting. And my manager at the time, and again, I've only been working there for, I don't know, maybe a year. and my manager, we basically set up 2 different Macs. I think there were 2 different, God, I want to say they're blue and white G3s, but they might have been G4s. My memory, great. Anyway, but yeah, we set up 2 different systems, and they were going to be running like benchmarks and stuff. And I think what it was, I think it actually might have been 2 different Rage 128 cards or something. So that's what I'm thinking. It might have been actually like a blue and white G3 versus a Sawtooth or something of the G4. Because the idea was that there was going to be a side-by-side comparison. So we had this cart with these VGA displays, like the Cinemas or the 17-inch displays, right? The Apple used to sell the blue and white ones, and then the 2 systems, and side-by-side comparison, right? And so we had to wheel it up to the boardroom and everything, got it all set up and stuff, and we're totally sitting there thinking, like, oh my god, we're actually going to be there. We're going to be there doing this demo for them and stuff, and then of course the people start coming in, so Phil Schiller comes in, sits down. John Rubenstein comes in, comes up to us. He's like, "Okay, guys, how do we run this? What do we do?" It's like, "Okay, great." So yeah, we told him how to do it, and then he's like, "Okay, see you later, bye." So, which is probably good, to be honest, from what I was told later on, because probably, I mean, I can't imagine he'd be that much of a jerk to low level people like us at that time, but probably not being exposed directly to Steve, if there was something he didn't like about any of it, would probably been better. So. But yeah, we're kind of thinking we were actually going to be able to be there in the meeting or something and have to, we get to push the buttons and stuff. No, no way, no. Not sure why we thought that. All right, I need a new gear. iPod HDD and a MacBook. Oh yeah. Where's the gear? Did I already use this gear? Oh, it's right here, hidden in the bag. Again, MacFX gear. Tuno gear. This is gone. Okay. Put the gear in. Jennifer doesn't know what I do all the time in these streams. Now she knows. It's really boring. It's really boring. Perfect. Okay, clean the inside. Looks pretty good. Nope. Right there. Dirt. Clip it on. Dippity-doo. Why isn't that going down there right? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I remember actually. I had one of those somewhere, I think. I think mine has an SSD though. I think it has like the 16 gig SSD or whatever it was, 64 gig SSD. Yeah, that was because of the size of it, right? And they were awful. Slow. But very small. Whoops. Like so many of the first generation of things, they were compromised just to get it out, right? And then kind of start the product out. And that way encourage you to buy the next generation. We're lubing up the floppy drive. Putting on some lube on. Sorry. All right. So now we assemble. First, we will put in the gear. What do you want to call this thing? The gear spinny dooley bobby? The gear bob? Gear spinner lobber dauber. Spinner lobber dauber. That's it. I'm gonna put in the spinner lobber dauber. This has the nice machined screws. Oh, nice here. Look at that. Destroyed. I can't believe I've been doing this for 16 hours already. 16 hours. Why are you people watching me? Why? What is wrong with you? But I'm getting stuff done. It's good. I'm keeping my mind occupied. Doctor said I should keep my... Sorry. All right. Okay, now this thing goes on, as you all know. Clips in, funny angle, and then slips under. And you just hope it doesn't get munged. Oh, perfect. Yeah. Steady. motor stuff thingy. I love it. Actually, no, wait. Oh, wretched a second. Never mind. I hate it. The first time my partner watched one of my streams, I think her first words was, "What is wrong with you?" Did she say it like this? "What is wrong with you?" Great. At least you don't just say random jibber jabber like I do. And your words go good. my words don't go good. 1.5 hours ago, great. All right, so this is slitting nicely. Once again, we're gonna put the little the grommet bobbit grommets on like this. Snaps nicely. Hopefully without destroying or go flying. Perfect. Head repositioning negotiator. Oh yeah, the HRN. These little grommets are difficult to pick up. Perfect. So loud. Sorry. Okay, now this goes in. It's all cleaned up nicely and mentioned before. And I'll mention again, by the way, if you want to see a really good guide for how to properly service these, I put the link in the description below. Not this video. Bruce has a very good video about how to service them. Adrian also has a video too. It's Adrian's Digital Basement. But yeah, Bruce has a very good video. I'm actually really curious now if Bruce's video talks about lubricating that that center motor. Probably does. I did rewatch his video again, like, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and I was like, a few things in there he mentions, like, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I never thought of that, or I didn't do that. Why do I have extra screws? Oh, actually, why do I have extra screws? Oh, because I didn't actually screw in this thing. Whoops. I forgot this screw in the head sliding bar. These have the flat screws. Don't mess with these screws. Yeah. Yeah, that is funny, Rich Tricky. Hilarious. Okay. I would say Ricky Tricky when I was there, but all I did was work. I did very little else. But work, work, work. Whoops. Missed out on a lot of things in the last 20 years. Missed out on frozen yogurt. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's see. Now that's it. You know you're done when there's no parts left on the bench, right? That's how you know you're done. Again, goes in an angle on the side, and you go like that, and it's done. Can't really explain how to do that. It just kind of slides in there. One little gear, two little gears. These aren't even gears, they're springs. Stupid brain. Oops. Clip. Boom. Okay. Actually, what do I do that for? Not yet. I'm going to slam this up and down a few times. Feels a little grindy. I'm not impressed. I missed some lube up here on the front. You should like put a little lube on these front guys. That way when I go to put it back in the case, it gets all over my finger. Jeez, sorry. My fault. Okay. Times. Pretty good. I mean, how do you really know, right? I'm calling it now. This is going to be a weak injecting one. Maybe. Maybe. Who knows? Okay, clear some room here. Clearing some room. And what are you doing at work right now, Starlight Tech? What are you doing at work? You're supposed to are you supposed to be working? Are you supposed to be watching YouTube? All right, let's see. Let's hook up this test system again. Go, go, go. Here, Connick Jr. Let's get the camera with the other camera with all the cameras. So you can see the action of this thing actually not working. I know I got a bad feeling about this one for some reason. Got a bad feeling about this. Got a bad feeling. Getting too old for this shit. Getting too old for this shit. Got a bad feeling. Alright, so here we go. Here we go. No new tickets. Someone send this man a ticket. So you're double goofing off. Alright, so we can all see the drive there. I'm just going to pop it in here. Made noise, which is good. There we go. Gonna eject. See? Kind of weak. But I ejected. Well, I appreciate y'all coming hang out with me when I work on these, and especially when I get advice on how to fix things. See, it's getting better every eject. You can actually hear, I don't know if you can tell, probably can't tell, because this has the replacement gear, the replacement gears kind of sound a little different. Grittier, edgier, like an R-rated movie, maybe PG-13. Some people don't like it. But it's ejecting pretty good. Not great. Not great, but not terrible. Alright, let's actually try writing to this. Is that lab real? The one we showed Johnny. I have no idea. I can't say. Because I don't know. That's the only reason why I can't say. Watch, I got a copyright strike. Canción. Tu que me viste calando de lindo. I used to know that song. Thank God I don't anymore. Hey, that's a win, I will say. I think that's good enough. Good enough for Australia. So, yeah, 3 drives fixed. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Not too flabby. I will put the cases on now. You guys can see me do that. Watch me put on the cases. This is the best part. I do have to take apart these manual inject drives and actually lubricate them. And I honestly don't know if I've ever even needed to lubricate one of those before. I have to laugh because at the very beginning of the stream, whoever was actually here, I said, oh yeah, these generally don't need a lot of work. Just got to clean up the dust and dirt and stuff. But these are actually pretty bad. Did you use this app to run QC at Apple also? Oh, God. No. We did have some funny stuff, actually. We used to use all the time. Ow. Pinching my finger. I need to switch back to the view. You guys can actually see what I'm doing. Important things. Like putting screws back in. Okay. Screwdriver, screwdriver. See you, Big Bad Biologist. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your advice. As always, I'm going to be on your stream now, giving you tons of advice. Warranted or requested or not. Not the Flappy Bird, yeah. No, we actually used to use, I mean, because we did graphics, we used games for everything and benchmarking. We wrote benchmark scripts to, you know, benchmark Doom 3, Quake 3, Quake, Unreal Tournament, all of them, a bunch of different things. Good. So we'd run those, and of course we used the games to actually test for graphics bugs. So I used to have like a ton of games all set up ready to go for testing things. Yeah. And we had video clips we use for testing video playback and stuff. Okay, now I can mark this one as serviced. Needs servicing? No. It's serviced. Check. Good. What an inventory system, right? All right. Put that over here in the pile. And then go to this one. So I have two of these. Where's the case thing to this? Where's the other case? Oh, here it is. So I have two of these. So which is this? So this is the working drive. So I'm going to use this. So the question is, should I put this horrible sleeve back on it? And the right answer is yes. Yes, you should. Because you're going to keep it in a dust-free environment. And it doesn't really matter. Dusty. Why did Apple rely on NVIDIA GPUs? Well, you know, that's a good question. You know, the AMD parts had problems of their own too. And a lot of it had to do with thermals, sticking them in systems that really couldn't handle running that much heat. And as well as, wait, is this the one that had the, I'm trying to think, is this actually one that had the shield on it? Yeah, a lot of it had to do with thermals though. And, you know, the BGA basically melting off the board, right? So many cases were due to that. Screwdriver. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more. You know, the funny thing about that is that whatever you use to test with, like we used to have, you know, later on we were testing DVD, playback and stuff. And the trick is you wanted something you didn't actually care about, you know, because this is something you're going to be watching, you know, parts of again and again and again and again and again. And one of the things we ended up getting was when Apple first did DRM on the, you know, HTTP, which is a high definition content protection. So basically DRM stuff. You know, which normally for Apple is locked to a iTunes account or something, right? Which we couldn't have when you're testing stuff. So we got content that was unlocked. Hey, Rudy. So the movie we got was we managed to get a full-length movie that we could use for testing because you needed a full-length movie as well as some short clips and stuff like that. Fixed. And we got Semi-Pro, the movie. Have anyone ever seen this Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell, where he plays in this, I don't know, the B League for basketball? Absolutely ridiculously stupid, corny movie, right? And I've seen that movie so many times, parts of it again and again and again. But I'm thankful because you know what? Not really was gonna watch that anyway. So it's not like it ruined the movie for me. One of my friends who worked there at the time too, he used to use Fight Club. Where's my other drive? I lost the drive. Oh. And so he tested with Fight Club for actual DVD and stuff. So he unfortunately after a while started hating Fight Club. so it was quite the trade-off. Ugh, keep putting these back in. Well, Rudy, I am finishing up servicing floppy drives for the Macintosh. They require lubrication, cleaning, a little bit more lubrication, and gentle persuasion. Maybe a nice song. Maybe candlelit dinner. I don't know. That's awesome. Wrote a video player for BOS. The only DivX you had for lip sync was Awesome Power. Yeah, and it's actually so you'd end up getting certain clips that you know that had certain characteristics that they really showed things like if something was stuttering, like nice even panning motion, right? Or certain like color characteristics or something. Yeah, you'd end up using that same clip. And actually, it's funny. The very beginning of shots of the third Star Wars prequel movie, which is Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Sith, whatever, that one, the one with Darth Vader goes no, right? So that one, the very beginning where they're having the space scene, the fight scene, is really good for checking for stuttering on DVD playback. So I watched that scene a lot. Done. Nice. Now where does this one go to? Don't remember. Oh, this is for the LC2. This is for the LC2. I think. God, I don't remember. I don't know where this drive goes. I lost my Post-it note. See what you guys did to me? All right. Oh no, actually no. This one goes in the Centra 610. Centra 610. Let's put a note on it. So maybe I will remember. Did I know the tester left the iPhone before I know? Centris 610. Serviced. So now I'm all ready to go to put together those systems on the next stream, probably. Although I do need to do some more work on these. I mean, maybe I'll do that right now. You poor fools want to keep watching, but you can leave anytime you want. Sorry, honestly. I don't know what I'm doing with these, to be honest. I've never actually serviced these before because they're really not that serviceable other than you can kind of get into them a little bit. Come on. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. You can't get it off nice and gently. You want to do a quick jerky motion. Tell us the Steve Jobs story. Ah, oh, Jennifer. Jennifer, tell me the Steve Jobs story. Well, there was a time I was in line to get a burrito, and I felt this presence behind me, and I turned around, and Steve Jobs was standing behind me to get a burrito. He smiled and said, "Oh, go ahead." That's it. That's the story. Okay, so what can go wrong with these things? I don't know. So clearly, I have this floppy disk. Do you know why? It's bad. It's a bad disk. I use this for a physical test disk. Oh God, yes. You can see when I put that down, how horrible it was to go down. Watch when I put this in. Watch how it goes all slow. If you can see this. Ready? It's all gummy. So I think it's this here. This looks like gummed up crap. This probably doesn't matter because this is for the heads. Probably not a big deal. And I see there are no guides, by the way, for how to service these because these really don't come apart very easily. I mean, basically you're stripping these down to yeah, not easy like the other ones. So I will do this probably later. Bad gears. You know what's funny? I think what people do, yeah, actually, no, let me try that right now. I'm curious. I think what I saw someone do this once. Let me double check this. I think what they do, where's my thing? You remove this thing, this spring, and then it ejects like crazy fast or something. No, I'm not sure. It's like there was one spring you could remove, but I can tell there's resistance right here. There's a lot of resistance right there. I'm gonna remove this just for, you know, oh great, came right off. Nah. Okay, that's bad actually. That's needed to lower the head. Watch Garth break drives. Great. You totally need that on there to actually lower the head down. I think what I'll do is clean that right there and re-lube it. Probably just re-lube that, but where else there is stuff in here. Yeah, see, there's like lube on the sides too. I don't know if you can even get in there. All right, well, I'm not going to YOLO it. I am not going to YOLO it because I don't want to break these. I don't know enough. When you don't know enough, you put it away for another day. All right, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Click, click. Nice. All right. I am going to end the stream now. I want to thank everyone for joining. And be sure to hit that like button. Steve's back now. Hey, Steve, question for you before I go, because I'm just going to end the stream. Do you know... Actually, you don't know. Do you know how to service these? Is there actually any guides? There aren't, are there? You probably don't know. Because I think you said before you didn't know anything about the other drives. But anyway, but yeah, there's no real guides on how to service these because the reality is taking them apart is like really hard. It's not like the other drives. But yeah, and it's funny because so both of these that I'm like at the very beginning of the stream, like, oh yeah, these just work, which generally they have for me, right? They just need to clean the heads maybe and get the dust out. Both of them, like, they horrible ejects. They barely eject. So yeah, actually, I'm going to look into it a little more. I want to look into it. I see some stuff in here that I need to clean out, and I want to be a little bit more methodical about it. So I might try to make something, at least some photos or something, because I have seen people ask before. Use a hammer, yeah. Maybe. It might work better with a hammer. You're right. But yeah, I want to thank you all for joining and watching me fix floppy drives. I mean, hey, that's fun. Fun times. A WAS story. I don't have any WAS stories. Sorry. I don't have WAS stories. I don't even think I ever saw him. I think I saw him once in the quad, and that's it, walking across, but it might have been somebody else. The joke was at work, every time we'd be sitting out at Cafe Max, and I'd see somebody walk across the quad, I'd be like, oh, look, there's Steve. And it wasn't Steve, like, majority of the time. because I'm an idiot, apparently. Yes, thank you for joining. Oh, Steve is going to stream after dinner, and you're actually going to gear up. You're going to gear up and clean up your drives? Oh, that'll be hilarious. All right, I want to see that. You can watch my guide on how to do it. Steve's got a WAS story. Great. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all later. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ring the bell. Other things. Bye.